This is the end. Close your eyes and count to 10. Feel the earth moving then. Feel my heart burst again. 'Cause this is the end. Oh my gosh, Maggie, hi.
Hi, Brandon.
How
this is
are you?
stuck, sorry.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I moved the table after I set up the mics and mine was stuck as well.
Make noise. Hi, Brandon. How
Hi,
are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
Was that Skyfall by Adele?
It was.
Oh, you're such a good singer.
Stop, am I?
Is your name Fabian?
No, fuck Fabian.
It's scary ass.
His scary ass falling in the water. But how are you, Maggie?
I'm good.
Yes. You look good.
Thank you.
Love the shirt.
Thanks. This week I realized I have other clothes that I can... Y'all know you just have stuff in your closet that you just disregard.
Yes, I was actually talking with my coworker about that because I reorganized my closet recently and I'm starting to wear more clothes to work that I forgot I had. So yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I like this shirt. I got this shirt a long time ago too.
Yes. Well, it slays.
Thank you.
And so do you.
Oh, thanks, friend.
Of course. Oh my gosh. Well, today, y'all, is Tuesday. The mere start of the week. MAGA's attacking me on TikTok.
Really?
MAGA, whatever.
On your personal account?
On my personal account.
What happened?
Attacking's a strong word. Let me not sound like a Karen.
Trolling.
Like some trolling. Should I talk about it now or should I talk about it in our other episode? Maybe I'll build suspense since it's still kind of going on.
Listen to the next episode.
Listen to the next episode. Just know.
I'm sorry that's happening though. That's annoying.
It is just merely annoying because it just won't stop. You think you're making a TikTok that won't get many views, and then for some reason it gets a lot of views, over 100,000 views.
Which one?
The one about my 401k.
Oh, damn. Well, let's talk about how Madison got trolled recently because that was crazy.
Oh yes, my good old cousin Madison.
Poor girl.
Yes.
So she was we'll tell her troll story and then yours will be on the next one. So stay tuned. She was going to a wedding abroad and decided to make a custom gift for the bride and groom. So she made like a cutting board.
Yeah.
And she like did, I don't know what's it?
Like a design.
Burning. She
she
burned
did the wood burning and then she made like skewers to go with it.
And it was supposed to be for like s'mores. And so she went on TikTok and was like, I made this custom gift, but forgot that these skewers could be perceived as weapons and I won't be able to fly with it. Right? That's what she said. And then everybody in the comments were like, why don't you just go to the directory? Why don't you, see, this is what I hated about my wedding is nobody bought stuff off the directory. And she was like, oh my gosh.
She's like, they don't even have a traditional like registry and they wanted this. What the fuck? But this is why people on the internet are so like, I wouldn't want this like handmade like arts and craft thing.
They like take a snippet of a conversation and then just go for it, and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
But they were eating her up. Her video had so many views and I was like, not all of y'all hating on Madison.
It got over like 1 million views. I'm like, damn. It's like, for what, y'all? Like, why
over
y'all
a custom wedding gift?
Yeah, that the bride and groom loved. But people...
Because I commented early on and I was like, why don't you just put the board in your bag and then like buy skewers on Amazon and send it to their house? And then everybody else after that was just like, you're stupid. I hate you. This is why. And see, I wouldn't invite you to my wedding. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, good thing I don't know you.
Just crazy. So it's interesting that this is happening to you. It's in the family.
It really is. And
that
I'm
was
like
a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Or maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yes. And so it's now my turn. It's just a bunch. It hasn't reached that virality, which I don't even understand how it reached, even how much it's reached now. It's really shocking. I thought it was going to get the usual 300 views.
Brandon. Dave Portnoy is complaining about the same thing that you're complaining about.
This is true.
But you're going to hate on him specifically.
Did I mention in my video I didn't vote for Trump and he's our whack-ass president? Maybe. Did that probably trigger people?
Oh, so Portnoy is safe because they're like, you just made a mistake. You know, it's just ups and downs of the stock market.
Basically. The amount of people that are just like...
Oh my gosh.
They're like, well, don't panic. Don't cash out now. I'm like, you think I'm going to cash out my 401k?
Y'all go look at Brandon's TikTok today. And then on Friday, you'll see the next update.
Yes. B-Lord AF. B-L-R-D AF. Yes. You know, got some followers from it, which is nice.
Oh my gosh.
All press is good press.
All press is good press. No. That's actually why I don't post. Because I have like juicy things that I want that are like maybe controversial, more so about my personal life, but I could see the trolls like coming through. Maybe listen to 1 minute and then they're like let me give my judgment and then
call you triggered even though I'm triggered.
Right. Like I want to do one about how I want to do one and say like my personal trainer humiliated me and this is what I learned from it. But I anticipate everybody being like, you deserved it. You were slacking up. Yeah, she should have yelled at you.
She should have yelled at you harder.
She didn't even say anything that bad. Like that's what I want to do a story time, but I'm like,
there are people. Yes, because
you're gonna come for my neck.
When I posted yesterday, there was kind of a mix, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like you know, is what it is. But then the red woke up today.
This morning
they woke up. The amount of times I opened my app and it was like 99 plus notifications. I'm like, still? Again? And all of them are like the same comments. I'm like, y'all ain't even original.
You're just repeating what the other person said, hoping that your comment gets the most likes.
Right. I'm like, can we...
That's crazy. I'm sorry, Brandon.
It's okay. You know, it's funny.
I saw your post and didn't think a second thought about it. Like, damn. Actually, I saw your post and I was like, how do I check mine? I've never looked.
Well, according to Kiter69.
Wait, we talked about this yesterday, actually.
We did
I was
briefly.
asking you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. According to Kiter69 on TikTok, normal people don't check their 401k. And Kiter, they have a kite in their profile picture.
So that's the solution. Just don't look and there won't be any problems.
Also... we all have a right to complain, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Also, please
good right now.
Pick up on humor too.
It was funny the way you were like flying back at your chair and stuff.
Some people I think thought I was being for real. I'm like, y'all, I sped up the video.
This is a joke.
This is editing. But anyways, we'll get more into that Friday when hopefully it's died down. But anyways.
Well, welcome to the shade of it all, y'all.
Welcome to the shade of it all. I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdala. And today we're talking about the season finale of
The White Lotus. I think that, well, that was bad. That was me trying to do the season 2 one,
like,
but it didn't sound good.
Music? Aww. It's hard, Brandon. There's a lot of different sounds there.
This is true.
Valiant effort.
Thank you. So what did you think before we get into it of this finale?
This finale was it was good. I was surprised.
Yes.
But yeah, I was surprised. As we talk about it, I'd like to talk about because it's the last episode, so the whole time you're like, who's gonna die? I'd like to maybe even talk about the points where we thought, oh, that just happened, so I think it's this person.
Oh yeah.
But the finale was good, but I do feel like the last few weeks have been a bit underwhelming.
Yes, and it's hard because I think I liked this season. But I also wonder, and do people just like it because people say they like it?
Or if they really like it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I get, you know, I think what it is, and Mike White, he says the whole season is like edging, and he's like, enjoy the edge or get out or something like that. And I'm like, okay,
it is edging.
Fair. That is. It like is what it is. I don't know. It's just for me, I guess, it's hard when it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
And then there's not a lot of episodes. It's almost hard to get attached to characters.
Yes.
So though I did care about what happened at the end, I was like, but like, also, what? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, not to say it's not like the worst show ever or anything like that. I enjoyed myself watching it and talking.
Yeah, no, it's a good show. I just felt like the last few weeks of waiting, if I wasn't watching, I wasn't pressed to see it first thing on Sunday. I watched it today. Today is Tuesday. I wasn't rushing to my computer to go watch it. I was like, okay, it's on. I'm going to watch it. But I wasn't like, I got to know. I wasn't super hooked in.
Right.
But we haven't experienced that with this show. So maybe if y'all have, let us know. Because we didn't watch... I watched season 1 and 2 after it all came out. We haven't. This is our first time watching it live.
Yes, I feel like a binge. It would probably be really good.
A binge would be really good, but the way it was,
you know, they did that.
Yeah, like okay, that was cool. This episode was really good. I felt like it was suspenseful. The ending was interesting, but yeah, it felt a little weird at times though.
It did. And did this episode drag a little bit?
Yeah.
At times. It was a little longer, though, so I'll give it that.
And then they kind of, like, gave up on some stories. Like, some stories just ended.
Yeah, very abruptly.
Yeah, like after... we're going to talk about Belinda first.
Yeah.
But, like, Gary... Okay, it's done.
Right.
It's over.
It was like they made it seem like, and you know, what's part of a show is to be misleading. They were like, oh, Greg Gary, he's going to be a big thing and we should watch out for Belinda. But like, that Greg Gary was the least of the worries.
Yeah.
Little did we know the characters we've known from the beginning would be their own enemies. But
yeah.
Should we get into Belinda and Zion?
Let's talk about them. Zion's annoying.
He is. I'm like, shut up, Zion. Gosh.
Oh.
Belinda's like freaking out because they had that dinner and she's like, I'm worried. Da, 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 da. And he's like, we got to get the 100,000.
He's like, Ma, he only offered you this much. Let's ask for more.
Right. And she's like, well, 100,000 isn't enough. Like, that's barely anything. And he's like, well, yeah, let's ask for more. And then so they do this plan. They're going to like approach Greg Gary and be like, oh, let's try to get more.
Yeah.
So then the next day they go. And it was pretty funny leading up to it, I guess. Because I like Belinda and I like that actress. So she's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. I really loved her in Insecure, and
Same.
I was rewatching. For some reason, some Insecure clips like just stumbled upon my TikTok this week, and I got to enjoy them again. She's really funny.
She is.
But yeah, she
yeah,
woke up stressed out.
She did. But then they go and they talk to him, and then Zion's very much trying to like take the businessman role and take the lead.
He's like, I go to Duke or Dartmouth or something. I think it's some school. He's like, I go to the school, I have my MBA. Like, I'm negotiating with, and like Belinda doesn't say anything. He's just negotiating.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, $100,000. It doesn't cover up like, you know, what was it he was trying to say, guilt or anything like that. So we need more. We're thinking $5 million. And Greg Gary's like, say what?
I was like, $5 million is crazy.
That is.
And he's like, I don't have that much. And he's like, but you do, because Tanya was worth X amount billion.
And $5 million is just 1%.
Yeah.
1%, you'll never notice that gone. Like,
and I was like, okay, look at you doing your research.
Right.
And so Belinda just gets up and walks out. And she's like, this is really, I don't know about this. And she like kind of walks out. And then she has a talk with Zion in the hallway and they're scheming a little bit.
Yeah, she's like, you need to go in there and say that I'm emotional and I'm not trustworthy, or like I'm not trusting, and you know, you don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you're scamming. I love this. And she's like, shut up. Yeah, and so he goes and he does it, and then they're kind of freaking out the next time because Greg Gary said he was going to give the $5 million. They got the information, but they're like, will he really?
Yeah, because I guess when we see them next, they're just waiting because Zion's like, he told me he would think about it. I gave him your routing information, so we'll see what happens.
And then the next day,
Belinda wakes up. She gets on her computer and she screams, and a monkey screams, and I was like, what did she see? I was a little confused at first. I for some reason didn't correlate that to be a good thing.
Right. I was like, wait, what's happening now? Like, is this going to be... But I
thought... So when she opened the laptop, I was like, did Gary die and you just saw a headline?
Oh, God.
Or, like, what did you just see?
Right,
you know?
like, what's happening?
Is Tanya alive somehow? I thought it was shocking.
She pops up at the resort.
No, there's $5 million in her bank account.
Ooh, that would be so nice.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine?
That would be amazing. And I'm so happy for Belinda.
Me too.
She was able to do this.
She's like, we got the bag. Let's get out of here. We got to go.
He's like, why would we leave? He's not going to go back on it. And she's like, I don't want to be here when he does.
Just in case.
Right. And he's like, but what about your boy? You guys were going to like do the business together or something. And she's like, can I be rich for a minute? I'm like, ain't that right?
Yeah.
And so she talks to Porn Child on the last day.
Yeah. She's like, I'm leaving tomorrow. And yeah, I think it was like really good to spend time with you. And he's like, but what about our business?
She's like, circumstances have changed. Discourse online is that she pulled a Tanya.
That's exactly what Tanya said to her. Some circumstances have changed, and yeah, I gotta go. Yeah. But this was a little different because she didn't agree to shit.
Right. And that's what I've seen people say, like podcasts I follow, Bitches Better, and like she's speaking with Emily Hanks. They're like, but she never said she was going to start a business.
It's not the same. It's similar, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Tanya was playing with Belinda. Tanya was like, you should start a business. Approached her again, told her about the business, and then Belinda wrote up a business plan, and then they had like a meeting of sorts.
Yeah.
And then all of that just to say no. This porn child was just like, hey, do you want to do a business? And Belinda didn't really give him an answer, yes or no. So I don't think he looked upset, but I'm like, But I get the correlation. I think what Mike White is trying to show us is that money can change people.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't think she changed that much.
Right. She was just like... And she never agreed to it. So it was kind of like she seemed skeptical from the beginning.
Right.
Which is what we had thought. So
yeah. And it's not the same, but I get the sentiment that like maybe it would have been something she considered. But now that she has millions,
she's like,
she doesn't have to think about it right now.
Right.
Or ever again. You know?
She just met Porn Chai.
She did.
So
and yeah, it was just a loose conversation. If they had multiple conversations, maybe. Also, I saw some correlations in like Zion kind of acting like Saxon. Like, I have an MBA and I have this and I have that and you should listen to me and listen to what, and it's just like, you know, so maybe them both, like the influence of like power and money in their lives and how it changes them a little bit. It wasn't too deep, but I was just like, this is something I could see Saxon doing.
Right. Zion seemed a little more competent than Saxon.
Definitely.
Zion was able to close the deal.
He was.
Saxon, I don't know if he would have been able to. But definitely some correlations. Because the Belinda did say remember one episode she was like, remember I told you it's about the money and then the power and then the job or something like that. And then the girl. So there's similar...
ideologies.
Yeah, you stole the word out of my mouth. I was just about to say.
Yeah, because it's like I think like one of the overarching themes is like influence, power, money, and how those with it and those without it. And Belinda and Zion are kind of like without, and it's like, okay, who do they become when they get it? And they start acting similar to the people who we see who have it and are about to lose it. Yeah, they don't know it yet, but. So it's interesting.
It is. I'm glad that they had the happy ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they just go on the boat and they leave and they're just cheesing. They're just like, this is great. Yeah. Amazing.
They're waving goodbye. Porn Chai looks sad a little bit on the beach.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, I wonder if it's gonna be a happy ending, because essentially it's not even this. It's not even that they just got rich. This is blood money. Like, somebody died.
That's
and
true.
This is hush money. So you're becoming a crook, just like Timothy, and just like Rick, and just like Gary, right? Like, you're not. Yeah, you get to ride off into the sunset, but now you're just like them, even more.
Yeah. It's tough. You know, I would say it's making the best of a situation you didn't choose to be in.
She chose it. She took the money.
No, because she didn't choose for Greg Gary to
To be a
pop
killer?
up and like do that to Tanya
But she
and
had
then
a
offer
choice,
her
Brandon.
hush money. I mean, she could have said no, but it's not like she was.
Is it like, okay, now it's my turn to get mine kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't, you know, it's not like Timothy who's just like laundering with his business.
Yeah.
And now it's getting caught.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little different. Hush money is not the same as...
Is it under the same umbrella?
Yes.
Maybe. But umbrellas have tiers.
And you know what? We saw Belinda ride off into the sunset before. Well, she was on the beach while everybody else was leaving. But who knows? Maybe she's going to be in another season. I wonder if he's going to bring her
True.
back. I wonder if we're going to see Gary again.
I hope so. I'm sure they'll bring somebody back next season. They seem to always bring at least one or two people back.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the Ratliffs will reappear.
Yeah.
But that was kind of it with Belinda and Zion. Overall,
Yeah, they leave. That was it, pretty much.
Yeah. And then should we talk about the trio next?
The girls.
Look, for me, their ending, underwhelming.
I knew they were going to have this, though. Remember, I called it
Right.
at the beginning. I was like, are they going to do this?
It was just like... Because, okay, so Lori had hooked up with that one guy and escaped the girlfriend.
Alexi, I think his name was.
Yes. And then so the next morning, Jacqueline does seem kind of apologetic to her and was just like, oh, I'm sorry about Valentine. Do you want to eat breakfast with us? She's like, no, I want to rest. And then it's kind of just like Lori seeing Kate and Jacqueline kind of enjoying their time, like taking selfies in the pool, doing this.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like looking sad. So then it kind of just builds to this final dinner, which I question. I'm like, I feel like they filmed a lot of these scenes in the beginning of filming. Because certain bobs looked a little crisp and more blonde than usual.
You're funny.
And Chelsea's hair looked a lot lighter in some scenes.
Oh, really?
I was like, which I mean makes sense. When they film shows, they often do it like out of order.
Yeah.
And like, stuff like that. So it's nothing really, but it was just interesting to note. But yeah, so they get to the final dinner and, you know, you have Kate being like, you know, I'm just so thankful because what was it? She talking to a pastor and they were talking about a garden. And she's like, I feel like I'm in bloom and everything's in bloom right now.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, that's so sweet.
And then Jacqueline kind of said something too, like,
Yeah, hers was like, you know, I'm just thankful for you guys because like life can be lonely and people judge me with superficial things, but you guys judge me on deeper things, and I really enjoyed my time and I felt at peace. Like they kept saying they were having like the best time, and I'm
yeah,
like,
and I'm like, y'all are lying. When did you have the best time?
right.
And these are your friends? Remember they were talking shit about you yesterday. This doesn't make sense.
No.
So they were being very like, well, it's the last day, so let's say something nice.
I just love you guys so much.
You guys are the greatest.
Then Lori's real. And she's like, I've been fucking miserable this entire trip.
I've been very sad.
Oh, Lori, I love the actress and I love the character, but she goes on her monologue about how, you know, she feels as though being with them has reflected back all the choices and mistakes she's made.
Yeah.
And like all the decisions and how she's never really found religion, and like she tried career as her religion, but that failed. She tried marriage, but that failed. Being a mom didn't make her feel any better. So she just felt very empty, but she's realized she doesn't need religion for meaning when time has meaning. And being with them, because they've lived life together but separate, it just feels so deep even when they're just talking about nothing. And she's just so thankful to have their friendship. And she tells Kate, I'm happy you have a great life. Jacqueline, I'm happy you have a pretty face. And I'm just happy to be at the table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, the internet was eating this up.
Yeah. So it just doesn't seem okay. for her to say I'm sad and to acknowledge that she's sad and say why makes sense. The thing that makes you happy part, I didn't. That part didn't really make any sense to me. Like, your fake friends make you happy?
That part, I was kind of like, it was giving, because some people were just like, oh my gosh, the complexities of womanhood. I'm like, okay, this is giving more your high school friends that you've like kind of like been friends with and like have, what's the word, like reliant on, or just like there's something like you can't like get yourself to exit these toxic friendships and you've like normalized it and stuff like that.
Like, she came to a happy conclusion and it just didn't feel like real, but they all, the two of them did. So maybe Lori is like, you know what, let me just fake the funk too, or she is finding something real in this fakeness.
Well, you know, I was also thinking, because I was like, look, we love Lori, but is she much better than Kate and Jacqueline? She was talking as much shit as them.
Oh yeah, no, I just felt like she didn't sugarcoat anything like Kate and Jacqueline do.
She didn't. But now she's like, well, maybe it's nice sugarcoating.
She's like, I've been sad this whole time and maybe I should sugarcoat everything. Yeah. That's kind of what it gave. But I was like, because she said, as you age, it's like you justify your life, like aging, you know? So maybe that's what she meant by saying time is helpful, like just to see how she's grown or changed over time.
Yeah. I don't know. It was complex.
Yeah.
And like, I think for me, and then even just like the whole, like, I'm just happy to be at the table, it's still giving like that one friend that's kind of looked down on, that's just like, thanks for letting me in.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like, no, you're better than them. But then it's like, is she actually better than them? I think she is. But, you know, because
it's like, you can have your own table, you don't need their table, like,
right,
you know? It was like, I'm happy to be at the table, but
yeah,
almost like not that she needs the table, but like she wouldn't be there without them. Yeah. And I feel like she could be.
Yeah, she just needs to like believe in herself more or something.
Yeah, and I felt like that could have been more, like if one of them had told her that or something, that would have been more closure for her. But
instead they just cry and say I love you and then have a good night, which I mean it's a happy ending.
It is,
which is nice, because I guess it could have been obvious for them to have a not happy ending.
I knew they were, I thought in the beginning, okay, these guys are gonna have a heart to heart, but this doesn't feel like one.
No, it was very like a one-sided.
Yeah. Like earlier in the day, Jacqueline apologizes for the Valentine thing. Lori's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, go deeper.
Right.
Why'd you do it?
That part. And also, I feel like they kind of abandoned Jacqueline as a character. She was kind of like the one we knew most about in the beginning. And then kind of by the end of this, we really didn't see her much.
Yeah, like, what about your man? What about this? Like, oh, you guys are so in love, but you're not. And then, I feel that. They did. Because it seemed like, and then the other one, I don't remember the third one's name. Kate. We barely got anything from Kate. Yeah. I thought that we would dive into her at one point. It seemed like the focus was on Lori.
Yeah, which is fine. It was a shift because Lori was kind of seen as the friend that's not as like whatever, it's popular or something. I don't know, like quote unquote popular. But so it was kind of good to see her rise to the surface. But it was just kind of like that's what I was saying earlier about the episode. I'm like, but what else? There was so much more to dive into.
There was. They did kind of give up on the trio. But like there was more there.
Yeah. Well, they are part of a pretty pivotal scene that we'll get to later.
Did we see them on the boat leaving?
Yes, they were consoling Jacqueline. It was very brief.
I don't remember at all. That's funny.
Okay, who's next? The Ratliffs?
Yeah, let's do the Ratliffs.
So the Ratliffs. This was ups and downs and all around.
Should we start with Lockie and Piper?
Oh, yeah, because they come back from their overnight stay in the temple.
They come back from the temple and they're walking on the beach. And I'm like, where are you? How did you guys? Didn't you need the road to get to the temple? Why are you on the beach walking home? Anyway, Lockie is like, Piper, I think I'll tell them today. And she's like, tell them what? And he's like, that I'm gonna move and live here with you, girl.
She's like, fuck.
She's like, Lockie,
No.
I don't want to be responsible for ruining your life. Like,
Yes.
I don't want you to do this and then you hate it. Because she's not saying it, but she does. She's not a huge fan.
Right.
And she's just like, you should do like your own thing. And, you know, he kind of leaves the conversation just looking lost a little bit.
Yeah. And then they get back home and the mom's like, how was it? And they're like, can we just talk later? Like, we want to relax. And she's like, fine. And she's like, Lockie, how was it? And he's like, I don't fucking know, okay?
And the mom's just like, all right.
Well, damn.
Okay.
And then it's like dinner or something. And this is where Piper does a complete 180.
It was just Piper and her parents, right? Or was Lockie there?
I think it was just Piper and the parents. I don't know where Lockie and Saxon were.
Yeah.
But they're like, how did you like it? Like, did you have fun? And she's like, well, you know, it was good. And like, you know, the food, like, it was vegetarian, which was nice. But like, you could tell it wasn't organic. And, you know, it's just like hard. And like, it just, I don't know. It's just like, it didn't taste that good. It was kind of bland and like, which is fine. But then like, when I went to go to bed in my room, it was just like small. It was like cramping. It was like a drip. And it was just so uncomfortable. And all I could think about is the superficial things. And it's like, I don't want to think about these superficial things. But it's like, maybe I need them. Like, I don't know. And the whole time Victoria's like,
because Timothy starts and he's like, enlightenment and, you know, you don't need
he's
materials.
like open to it.
And the mom just kind of looks. But during the conversation, she's like,
Oh, yeah.
in her head, she's like, thank you, God.
Yes.
You heard my prayers for my baby Piper.
And Piper's like going on. She's like, I just feel so guilty about how we have so much and people don't. And she's like, you know what? We have to appreciate the things we have. It would be selfish to not enjoy it. Okay? Because
people would love it.
Yes. I'm like, this is a twist.
What a mindset. But it's like, so Piper really wants to detach. She wants to embrace these Buddhist values. She wants to like jump in and do it. But it's not cute and it's not luxury. It's not even comfortable. Okay, you don't have to like everything, but a dirty mattress and a room without AC.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, girl. Like,
I will say, in her defense, because people are like, oh, she flopped at the end. And I'm like, it was a flip. But it is a shift.
It's a big
It's an
shift.
extreme shift. So, like, I could see why she didn't want to be a part of it. Maybe go to, I don't know, a school out of state where I try to ease into like having a different life.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
You don't have to practice Buddhism in a monastery in I was gonna say China, in Thailand. Like you can go like, you know, do like small steps.
Yeah, like maybe give to a charity, donate, help people in different ways instead of trying to just help yourself, help others.
Yeah.
Since you feel guilt about your life, you know?
Yeah.
There's other things.
She thought that she would be able to find something there, and it just it wasn't for her.
No.
And I think it was like the illusion of what a religion can give you versus actually practicing something is very different. Saying that Buddhists believe in all of these inner peace, detachment, enlightenment sounds great, but actually doing it is something completely different. Yeah. She loved the idea of it and not, well, she didn't even know what it really was going to be like.
She didn't. She just would meditate and was just like, I know this is going to be great. But then realized, I guess this is kind of, I'm remembering one of the first scenes from the first episode, or not first scenes, but scenes in the first episode where she goes to the temple and she kind of just looks at it, but she doesn't go inside.
Yeah, she was like
Could
scared.
Could this be symbolic?
Yeah.
Of her not wanting to enter because it not being her path. Take that, Mike White.
But why was the food bland? And why wasn't it organic?
I don't know.
That didn't make sense to me. Remember that monk? Remember the monk with the Mac?
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of temple setup is this?
Right.
At the beginning, there was like a monk like using a MacBook to sign people.
She could have been just like looking for reasons with that as well. Like the food. Because the food looked good, I thought. It looked fine. I mean,
I couldn't tell, but I thought they'd be eating doing like a raw vegan kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, Piper wasn't with it.
No.
And Victoria was elated.
She was.
She hugs Piper and gives a thumbs up to Timothy. And I'm like, girl, if you only knew what was going in that man's head.
Right. He's like, oh, fuck, now I gotta kill her.
And Piper was the least I thought she would be able to stay.
Right. I think, was it before this, though, when Saxon approached Lockie about what happened?
I think so, yeah.
Because Lockie's like, oh, you want to hang out? You want to drink protein shakes? You want to do this? And he's like, no, I'm good. No one can teach you how to be a man but yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then Lockie's like, are you mad at me? And he's like, okay, you can like worship me, but not like worship me. He's like, well, you seem left out. And all you care about is getting off. And I was just like, I'm a pleaser. And I'm in this family of narcissists. So I was just like, eh. And he's just like, I'm leaving.
Like, he didn't hear a word. He didn't hear a word Lockie said. And I honestly felt like this is the first time Lockie is spitting facts. Like, this is the first time y'all should really listen to what he's saying. Like, he is in a family of narcissists. Oh, yeah. He's, like, surrounded by people with such big personalities. He gets swallowed up in all of their personalities. Like, he doesn't know what to do. So, yes, he is a pleaser. He does what he goes to he's going to give up his life for Piper, but she doesn't want him to, and he doesn't get it.
He goes to the extremes.
Very extreme.
But, yeah. And
so they talk about it for a second, but they kind of left it at that. This is another storyline that just kind of falls.
They never reapproach it.
No.
And then I think after the dinners, when Tim goes up to Lockie and is just like, could you handle having no money and being like without? And he's like, yeah. He's like, perfect.
He's like, you're the chosen one.
You're off the hit list.
You will take our family name and carry on in stride. Yes. You are the sole survivor.
And then, okay, was it earlier? Because now I'm like flipping it a little. Or not flipping it, but I was just like, was it the next morning or was it that morning when Tim gets the seeds?
Oh, it was that morning.
It was that morning.
Before the dinner.
Yeah, because at the dinner he asked for stuff, the waiter to bring things to make pina coladas at the place. But in the morning, he's like looking at the tree with the fruit. And then that lady with the phone comes back. Pam. I could not remember her name.
I thought that was Victoria's name, so I never forgot it.
LOL. She's like, oh, I got your phones. And he's like, we don't need those.
Not yet.
What's the thing about those? The fruit. This fruit. And she's like, well, the seeds are poisonous. I don't know why I just did Chelsea's voice. But the seeds are poisonous. And, you know, people called that like the suicide tree. Like, you know, they would grind up the seeds and then drink it or whatever. So, like, don't eat it.
He's like, excellent.
Perfect. So then he takes a bunch and grinds up a bunch of seeds and leaves it in the blender. I'm like,
when he first left it in the blender, I was like, oh, Lockie's going to make a protein shake and die.
Not yet.
But that's what I first thought. I was like, somebody, or maybe Piper, or maybe like
the
one
fact
of them.
that it was left in the blender.
You're an idiot, Timothy.
He's dumb.
Oh my gosh, he's so stupid.
Because then the night comes and he's making the pina coladas, and then he's just like, he makes one for him, Piper, Saxon, and Victoria. And then when Lockie tries to grab one, he's like, you get a Coke.
Go get a Coke.
The way he said it, I was like...
Lockie was like, okay, damn. I mean, I did get drunk yesterday, but fine.
Whatever. And then he just gives a toast like, oh, I love my family.
I love you guys. Yeah. It was a very touching toast.
It was. And then the mom's like, I want a toast to Thailand.
And us leaving here.
Yes. And so, did they really take sips from it, or did he imagine, or is it just they didn't drink enough because they only took a few sips?
Yeah, they either only had a sip or didn't drink any, because we see them all take a sip and make a face, each one of them individually. And then he like focuses on Saxon and swipes it out of his hand.
He's like, the coconut milk is off. The coconut milk is off. The coconut milk is off, everybody.
It's like, Dad, damn. Okay, Dad. All right, relax.
This would be funny if it wasn't poisonous pina coladas. And so he just dumps them, and then he's like, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. And Victoria's like, have you heard of wine?
There's wine behind you. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, y'all had that whole thing of wine and you didn't open one?
Right.
So funny. But yeah, man, it was a very interesting moment. Like, Timothy is just going through his plans in his head of how he can escape. What can I do to get out of this? And so he's trying all of these different things, but literally cannot get himself to do it.
Yeah.
So they all go to sleep, I guess, after their wine.
Mm-hmm. And then the next day, Lockie is like, I'm gonna make a protein shake. Mm-hmm. And then he sees the blender that still has residue, a bunch too.
It's like all the seeds are still at the bottom of this thing.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not gonna clean this. I'll just make it.
He smelt it and he was like, all right, this is good. I was like, Lockie.
I'm like, oh no. And so it's just him making it, and then he's drinking it, and then slowly but surely he's like, we're like, no, Lockie's dying. Like, this is kind of sad. I'm like, damn, not Lockie.
He's sitting by the pool, and the mom wakes up because in the morning no one is awake. So I was like, did they die? Was my first thought.
Oh yeah.
Because Lockie was awake by himself, and then he sits by the pool in a chair and is kind of like looking sick, and Victoria, Saxon, and Piper are like, come have breakfast. Okay, we'll see you there.
Yeah, meet us there.
Y'all are so selfish, man.
They don't even notice he's not responding and looking away.
And then as soon as they walk away, he's like throwing up and getting sick and having a reaction.
It was a lot. It was like he was seeing blurry. He saw his family's faces. It was like a montage of him swimming, and then he couldn't get up. And I'm like, damn, this is sad. I'm like, not Lockie. Like, he has his problems, but not Lockie. Damn. Yeah. And then Timothy wakes up. And then he sees him and he's like, son, no. And it's like, yeah, motherfucker, you're the one who did this. Like, what do you mean?
You left poison in the blender, idiot.
Bro, what did you think was going to happen?
He dumped all the cups in the sink, but didn't swish out the blender.
Right. Like, nothing to like, the way, like, I just can't. You don't sanitize anything. Like, we sanitize for chicken to not get salmonella. You have poisonous seeds everywhere. Clean the place.
And that's like, and not Lockie calling them a narcissist just makes so much sense. He's so self-centered. He doesn't even think about the leaving. You left a gun in the villa, and you left seeds in the blender. Like, you're not thinking at all.
No.
And then even them just leaving and going to breakfast. Like, meet us there. You're not curious why he's not answering you?
Right. Like, they couldn't be. Piper's like, I'm selfish again, so.
Yeah, since I like material things, I'm going to go to breakfast.
We're going to get the French toast.
There's donuts.
The donuts look good. But then we think he died.
He looks like he's dead.
But then by the end,
he wakes up.
And I'm like, oh. That made me happy. I was like, damn, okay, good. Because
Timothy's like, help. And then we see Lockie wake up later.
Yes. And I was just like, okay, thank God. Like, because, like, that just would have been sad if Lockie died.
I felt like this season it was going to be someone, like, really innocent, you know?
Well, that did happen.
So when I first saw Lockie dead, I was like, damn.
No, Lockie.
And of the 5, he was the most innocent. He didn't know what he was doing with life. He was kind of going with the flow, just trying to make people around him happy. Like, his was like, you know, such an ironic. For him to die is very ironic because he's literally not doing anything, not being troublesome at all, just trying to survive.
But then, you know, they leave and they get on the boat. And then they get their phones back and everything. And finally, Timothy's just like, so our life's going to be a little different. But, you know, we have each other. We have family. And we're strong. And we love each other. Yep.
And that's all he says. I was like, life's gonna be different because we don't have a life anymore.
Right.
I was waiting for his card to decline as they checked out or something.
I know, right? Like something happened, but like, you know, I saw someone online say that the Ratliff should get like a spinoff. Like they have like a, and I'm like, low
that
key,
would be a good
be
spinoff.
interesting.
Or like see them in the next season.
Yeah.
Lockie is like working at the White Lotus because he doesn't have money anymore.
Oh my gosh, that would be funny. He would be, or better yet, it's Saxon. I could see that.
Poetic justice. But yeah, we didn't see him explain the reason why or anything. So that was kind of another thing that fell off. Because while I was watching, I got excited. I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to find out about the money? What's the family's reaction going to be? Nothing.
Nope.
Just flatline.
Which, I mean, hey, they had some drama, they had some trauma, and they had a funny mama. But yeah, that was it with the Ratliffs. Let's briefly talk about Gaitok.
Okay.
Because there's a build-up, and then it bleeds into not bleeds, no pun intended. Leads into another one. Well, so him is basically, this whole episode, he's like, I want to quit.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like it here. He's thinking about quitting because we first see him talking to Mook and telling her that he's like we first see him call his supervisor, and he sees Valentine, and he's like, hey. Valentine's like, how was the fight? And he's like, good. Who are your friends? And Valentine's like, why? And he's like, they look familiar. And I was like, Gaitok.
I was like, okay.
For somebody who doesn't want smoke, you're like asking for all the smoke.
Right. I was like, all right. Well, here we go.
Yeah. And then he tells Mook later that he thinks he knows who like robbed the place before.
And she's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. They'll be so impressed. And
you'll be my hero again.
But then Valentine denies it, but then he comes back. I think the next thing he's just like, you can't say anything, I'll be deported, we don't have jobs, I'll die, like da-da-da.
It'll be the end of, you'll kill 3 people if you do this.
Yeah, so like, and then that's it with Valentine.
Pretty much. We just see him later welcoming Jim.
Yeah, and then Gaitok at one point, he tells Mook, he's just like, look, I just don't think I'm up for this, like I don't think this is my job. And she's just like, well, that's disappointing.
You've been here for so long.
Why would you just give up?
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I could start over and try something else. Where are we going to go to dinner? And she's like, oh, about that.
My mom's cooking.
Her back hurts. I have to help her.
What about tomorrow?
We'll see. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, so I think the pressure of like having to possibly rat this guy out and ruin Valentine's life is also weighing on him, on top of like needing to use a gun potentially and all this other stuff.
But then when he hears gunshots on the final day, he his first instinct is to grab the gun. But who was he grabbing it for? So Rick and Chelsea.
Well, here, as a sidebar, Shritala and her husband get to the resort as well.
Oh, yes.
They decide to visit because they want to take pictures with Jacqueline and her friend. Really, just Jacqueline. They want to take pictures with Jacqueline before she leaves the resort.
Oh, yes.
So they come with their security and they're all there. But yes.
But at first, Rick hasn't returned yet.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's sitting with Saxon and Amy.
Chloe.
Who's
Amy?
Amy's the actress who plays Chelsea. I'm like, I know that's a name.
Oh, that's her name, Amy?
Amy Lou Wood.
Okay, Amy Lou Wood.
I love her. I want to see her on everything.
That's such a cool name.
It is. Solid
It's
name.
got more star quality.
She's a star.
Wait, what? Do you know what I'm talking about? That girl who auditioned for American Idol, and she's like, Gilbo is gonna be my last name because it has more star quality. GIEBLOU.
I think I do remember that. Is it the blonde girl with the red top?
Yes. What was her name? Was it Mary?
I think so. Is it the one that sings, I feel the earth
Move
on my feet. I feel the sky come falling down. I feel the wind start to tremble here whenever you're around.
They were like Stop.
Oh my gosh.
Stop.
American Idol used to be amazing. Now everyone's good. And they all sing like the same songs.
Really?
I'm like,
I haven't watched since I was in middle school. Sorry. That took me back.
I see clips, but there's something about it. I don't know. I don't like the judges.
You can't do everything for forever. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who still watches The Voice? Anyways, so yes, she's talking to Saxon because she had given him books and was helping him out. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, oh yeah, I like the book. I like the sex scenes and like all that. And she's like, well, you should read this one. It's about connections.
And this other one.
And read this and read that. And so they're talking, kind of bonding. And then she sees Rick. And she runs to him at the beach. Mm-hmm. She's in his arms. He's like, are you okay? And he's like, yes, I didn't kill anyone. She's like, thank God.
Yeah.
And then Saxon's looking longingly, just like,
oh, I'm alone.
And just like, we know.
Yeah.
Some people trying to say he's the MVP. I'm like, stop.
How? No. How?
A man shows emotion. People are like, give him everything. the star.
He didn't shed a tear, but he looked sad.
And so they have their thing. And then I think their next thing, is it the next thing dinner or breakfast?
Yeah, they have breakfast. Mm-hmm. And she's talking. Well, no, they had a conversation first, and then they had breakfast. I can't remember if it was over
I think they had the dinner, and this is where he says, she's like, I think we're going to be together forever. Now you're free. Mm-hmm. And he's like, that's the plan. And she's like, really? Mm-hmm. And then it was kind of like this sweet moment. You see some lightness in his eyes.
No, he seemed lighter. He seemed happy for a change. Mm-hmm. Like when they reunited on the beach, I was like, oh, he seemed different.
Yeah. It was sweet. And then, so then they have the breakfast
the next day.
And they're kind of just talking like...
She was telling him some story and he was like, it was actually different. This was different too. She's yapping about something. He's like, hold on a second. I want to get more food, but he didn't tell her like, shut up. You talk so much.
You're such a fucking idiot.
Yeah. He was like being nice. And she's like, oh, well, get me a donut. And so he gets up to get some food.
Yeah.
He gets a donut and he sees Jim is also at breakfast.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You think you can come to my house and lie to my wife? Get the fuck out
and push me down.
Push me down in my chair. And then he's just like, we're leaving today. It's fine. And he's like, I remember your mom. I knew she was a drunk and a slut, but I know she was a fucking liar too. And it's like, oh fuck.
Jim wanted all the smoke. I was like, Jim, you're about to get your ass beat. Right. But then he opens his coat and he's got a gun. So he's like, try me. Try it.
Where do you think Britt from Real Housewives of Atlanta got hers?
Pistols.
And then he's just like, your mom sold you a fairy tale. Mm-hmm. Your dad wasn't some angel or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And then so he walks away and then fucking that's it for Rick. He's distraught.
Rick is stressed. He's like sweating. Mm-hmm. He looks like worried. I can't tell if he's like scared. It looks like a mixture of fear, shock, and then like maybe a little bit of like betrayal. Like I thought this was something, but I thought something, but it might not be true. And I don't know if that guy is telling the truth or lie. He's just a liar. Like he's insulted my mom because he sits down and he's like, he insulted my mom.
She's like, don't worry about it. You're free. It's fine. Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's just having like a big panic attack.
Yeah.
And so he ends up walking out. He's like, I gotta go. Mm-hmm. And then Jim had sent kind of the security, I think, to get him. But he walked away in time. But then Chelsea follows and she's like nervous. She grabs a donut. And where he wants to go is to go to the one healer. Yeah. Which I forget her name, but she was in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But she's meeting with Zion. And so he's freaking out. He's like, I need to meet with you now. And she's like, we'll meet after. And he's like, no, I have to meet now. And I'm like, you should have met with him now.
She's like, it'll be okay. Give me 1 hour. Sit right here. I'm going to come find you. Mm-hmm. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I almost want to go back to the beginning and watch Zion's scene because Zion seemed more worried in his session with her. Because remember with his mom, he's more like chill and calm.
Yeah, you're right. In the beginning, he was very anxious and like talking about school and stuff. Maybe he was hiding it, but
probably. But then so he's sitting there on the bench, he's shaking, he's freaking out, and then to his left, Jim, Stratala, and the trio
taking pictures
with Fabian for a photo op. And he's like, oh, this is a fucking enough. He eyes the guards, they're walking away. And then it's just like he's just like, you know, shaking. It's just like, oh fuck, no, don't do it. And then he gets up to do it, but then Chelsea's just like, what are you doing? Don't do anything stupid, please. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. And then he goes to Jim, he takes the gun, he's like, fuck you, and then shoots him
twice. Boom, boom. The trio runs away.
Lori books it. Have you seen
Lori's like, move, bitch.
Everyone online was just like, bitch. Lori was like, bye. And then the actress was just like, I'm from New York, bitch. I know where the exits are. Okay. And I'm like, I know that's right.
Fabian flails and falls in the water.
I was like, Fabian.
And then the Shatala is obviously shocked. She's grabbing Jim. And Rick is just standing there, and he's like, he killed my father. Oh, because Shatala asks why.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, he killed my father. And she's like, he is your father. He told me yesterday.
You were right.
I was right. That's
People
crazy.
were commenting the next day on our TikTok, and they were just like, oh, girl. Who's going to tell her? And it's just like, this was filmed before. She predicted it right.
That's funny.
But
yeah, it was her.
But also kind of random.
Yeah, definitely random.
Because why didn't he just tell him that?
Right.
He said, oh, your dad's not a good guy. Your mom's a liar. And it's just like, why couldn't you just say, I'm your dad?
Right. Like, you insulted him and you insulted his intelligence, made him feel low, and you're his dad.
It felt like just like a random thing to throw out. Just like, and he is your dad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's fucked up.
The way that she said it too, like, he told me yesterday. Like, what?
And I'm like, why didn't you tell him? I don't know.
It was very weird.
He like is like freaking out now, and he like tries to run off, and then the guards have their guns, and so it's a shootout, y'all.
Chelsea is with him, and he's like, you know, like, she's like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, get behind something, like get some shelter. Rick is a sharpshooter. He takes out both guards, like on the neck, I want to say, and maybe like the shoulder. Like, they're both crouched down, and he gets them both. He's like ducking behind this like big gong thing, and then he turns around. Brandon, the way Chelsea looked on the ground was like so funny to me. The way she was laying there, I was like, why is she laying like that? It was perfect.
It was Chelsea.
She was laying down perfectly on the ground, bleeding. She got a gun wound. But the way that I was like, is this supposed to be funny?
I was just like, because I remember when it was happening, I was like, Chelsea, will you duck? Like, get on the ground. She's just like standing there confused. I'm like, Chelsea, you gotta hide. Like, what are we doing?
They're shooting at us.
It's like, what do you think? And so then Chelsea is shot, and he's like, no. I'm like, Rick, you did this. Oh my gosh.
You did it, man. And she literally asked you not to. She was like, please don't do anything stupid. You're free. You don't have to do this. He goes and does it anyway. And he's like, oh God. Chelsea, no. Chelsea. And then I actually haven't heard him say her name before. This whole time.
You said that about somebody before in some episode. I forget who. But there was somebody who was just like, I don't think he's ever said her name. No, I don't think it was this show, but I think it was like a significant other. And I'm like, that's funny. Because I don't think they did. Maybe it was a Love Island thing.
It sounded weird coming out of his mouth. He was like, Chelsea.
This is the first time he said it.
Then he had the nerve to cry for help. I was like, Rick,
right.
be fucking like, for real.
What are we doing? So he like picks her up. Well, before he even picks her up, here comes Gaitok running, runs right past them. I'm like, where's the instinct?
And he sees Shatala, and he's like, what happened? And she's like, go get him. He's over there. Shoot him.
And so Rick has Chelsea. He's walking across the bridge, and Gaitok is there, and like he waits a long time before, but then he does end up shooting Rick twice, and then Rick and Chelsea fall in the water.
And they die.
Yeah.
And after they die, Lockie wakes up.
Yes.
Well, after Rick dies specifically, because I think Chelsea was long gone.
Yeah.
After Rick dies specifically, then Lockie wakes up. So I was like, is there something?
Yeah, something like...
Something happened.
There's some meeting. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah.
But something. But yeah, and then it's just like Rick with his eyes open, just staring. And I'm just like, really? Rick was such the maker of his own demise?
He was.
And it sucks. And I think the actor put out some long thing. I didn't read it, but about how like childhood trauma impacted their relationship and all that. Like, as far as like Chelsea and Rick. And it was just like, damn, he kept like, he wanted to like kill who killed his dad, but then he was just like, no, I can't. And then he returns and finally has peace, but then he's triggered again by his dad.
Yeah.
And then he just spiraled until it ended it all. And then it ended up killing like his, like the love of his life. Who was trying to help him.
Yeah, like he had peace for the first time and he ruined it because something threatened it again.
Yeah.
It was like, he was a frail old man last episode and now he's not because he has a gun. Mm-hmm. But you were able to take it easily and use it against him.
Were you surprised that it was Chelsea and Rick who were the ones that died?
Yeah, I thought maybe Chelsea was gonna die, but I didn't think Rick was gonna die too. I was surprised when Gaitok shot him because Gaitok hesitated a bit
for a long time.
He wasn't sure about whether he was like, but the Buddha says, and Shutala's like, if Shutala wasn't there, I don't think he would have.
No,
just the egging on, like, do it. Like, sorry, man, I got to.
Right. And then, yeah, I wasn't surprised by Chelsea. I think the internet kind of thought Chelsea maybe, and there was kind of clues. Remember, she was like, bad things happen in threes.
Yeah, she was like, I almost died several times. And okay, here's another connection too. All the times that she potentially died was with Rick.
Yeah.
When she was without Rick, she was fine. Had some maybe 2 or 3 days where she was just fine. Then with Rick again, that's when she almost died again.
Men will always ruin things.
He was freaking taking snakes out of cages. And what was the first one?
The robbery.
Oh, the robbery.
Oh, I guess that wasn't with him.
Yeah.
All right,
He was nearby, but...
He was there.
He was at the villa.
He was present. Yeah.
But yeah, no, they died. Chelsea's death was sad, too. She had tears in her eyes.
It was. I was like, Chelsea, she's like one of the best ones. Like, really, y'all?
And she didn't she foreshadow it, too? Like, you're gonna, like I'm gonna make this work or die trying.
Kind of. And like the
she said
whole
that before.
We'll always be together.
Yeah, forever. And then freaking Rick at the end is like, we'll be together like you wanted. Now.
Y'all could have just been fine had you not had your temper tantrum. But alas, Gaitok did get promoted. And Mook was just like, hell yeah.
She's like, I know, that's right. And it was interesting because now he's like driving away while she's walking.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was interesting at the end. Well, there aren't any security guards left.
Right.
But yeah.
So that was kind of it for the finale.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Because Greg, Gary, Chloe, he gave the money and then they had a party and he like winked at her. Yeah,
we see her like flirting with some guys. Maybe that fantasy thing is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how it ended. It was Rick and Chelsea. But it was weird because when Lockie came back, I was like, so who's dead? It took me a minute.
Right.
Because the security died, but we don't know who they are. So it was really just Rick and Chelsea. But then they kind of show a montage of where everybody else is. Valentine and his friends are having fun somewhere, doing something. Mm-hmm. The friend, Frank, or Kenny, I always want to call him, was at the temple.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because fucking Rick, he, like, makes his friend relapse and then is just like, well, bye.
I gotta go.
And I got things like, well, damn, you're causing the destruction you think was left with you.
He tends to do that. He just destroys the peace that other people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we see two body bags going towards the plane.
Chelsea and Rick.
That was pretty sad.
That was. So overall, what would you rate this season on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, that's tough. I definitely liked the first two a lot more than this one.
A lot more. I need to go back and watch the
You
first
should
two.
watch it. I think you would like it. I think I liked the first one the best. It was just pure chaos.
A lot of people like the second one the best.
The second one was great, but it just was really like more so. So the first one was chaos. The second one gave me anxiety.
Oh.
Like, oh my gosh, where is she going? Why is she doing that? Are you about to get sold into slavery? Wait. What? And then the way that Tanya dies is very like, ugh.
Oh God, yeah.
Awful. I think I'd give it an 8. 7.5, 8. It's not average. It's definitely above average, but it wasn't like perfection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking 7 or 7.5.
Yeah.
Solid. Like, not bad. Again, I think would be a better binge. There were some characters you could really like get with and like kind of emotionally connect with, but others, I don't know. I found it hard to. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, or some people pointed out, they were like, we never found out how Kate and the mom knew each other, Victoria. I just remember that one scene in Breakfast where she was just like, oh, do you remember me? The baby shower.
Yeah, they went to an event.
Yeah, but we never got like them interacting again. I guess people wanted that. I forgot that scene even happened.
I think what we're highlighting is there's just like I think Mike White has a lot of plot points, but only some of them really matter. Some of them get left off, and then some of them matter.
And then people were just like, well, that just wasn't what mattered, guys. So, like, it is what it is. Not everything needs an explanation.
But,
and it's like...
But if you put something juicy out there, I kind of want to know.
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
why did Jacqueline sleep with Valentine?
Right. It was so...
And then at the end, they were all acting weird towards him. And I'm just like, okay, so what was it for?
Right.
Any other things that people are saying?
Not much. I would say it seemed a lot of people liked the finale, I would say, which it was a solid finale, so can't hate too much. And then just mainly sad about Chelsea, I would say.
That was sad.
Which it was.
That was really sad.
But yeah, other than
she
that,
didn't even have any last words. Like,
yeah. They think the person who plays Lori is going to get an Emmy for her monologue. Which maybe. I like her and I like the monologue. I liked the actress.
That's true. Any like great performances?
I thought Parker Posey, obviously.
Who's that?
The mom, Victoria.
Oh, she ate.
Yes. Lori, I thought did well.
She did, yeah. I think the dad did well too at the beginning, like the way that he was showing anxiety.
He did. For 5 episodes though, he was just like quietly taking pills. I'm like, I thought Rick was good.
Yeah, Rick did pretty well.
I thought everyone did decent. I would say the standouts maybe were Lori and Victoria.
Yeah.
I thought everyone else, there was no one horrible. But no one where I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling all these emotions.
Yeah.
But those two, I think, elicited the most emotions.
Yeah.
Because Lori, you were rooting for her, and then she did have that tearful monologue that I think was well executed. And Victoria was just the comedic relief the whole time.
She was.
So.
She really was.
But yeah, any closing thoughts on the season?
That's kind of it.
It's over and done, but the heartache lives on inside. Oh my gosh, so this concludes our White Lotus.
2 people can die in White Lotus. And there can be 8 episodes. Hopefully he starts going back down though.
The 8 felt a little like
much.
A drag.
It could have ended last week.
Yeah. So we'll wait for that in a year or 2 whenever that comes out. We'll probably cover it again. In the meantime, we're still covering Summer House.
Yeah, come listen to that episode.
Yes.
Find out what the trolls were saying about Brandon.
Yes. And this season of Summer House, it's picking up. The last episode was good. So hopefully the remaining ones will be good too. Because that also was dragging a little bit. But we still have fun talking about stuff.
Maybe all shows drag.
Like
maybe. I was thinking like Love Island. We just kind of like got really lucky with Love Island.
It was like there was never drag except
it
at
was
the
up and
end.
Down. There were some points that were like, oh my gosh, did you see that? And then low, then high, then low. Like maybe that's just how show business is.
I think it is for the most part. Yeah. But also, I think with a good show, there's not as much. So
yeah,
but we'll see.
but it's hard with reality TV. You never know what you're gonna get.
This is true, and
But with this show, Mike White. Also, I didn't even connect that that's Dewey from
School of Rock.
Yes,
And he was on Survivor.
He was on Survivor. Oh my gosh. It's always the quiet ones that turned out to be really great writers.
Right?
Or just people who you don't expect, like Jordan Peele. I was like, wait, you like all this sci-fi stuff? I thought you were just funny. You know? It's cool. It's cool to see people in their bag. Go off, Mike White.
And while they're in their bag, why don't y'all help us get in our bag?
Please.
And
Subscribe.
rate our podcast 5 stars.
Yes.
On Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We love to shout those out. Spotify, you can leave comments on the episode, so those are fun. If you want to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to our beautiful voices, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast. We also post clips on TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast, Instagram at the Shade of It All Pod, and we will talk to y'all next time. Ooh, not just me. Bye, y'all.
Bye.